War podcast. Fagioli's got 7 months, I believe, Dan.
It says 12 on there. Oh, we
No, it's
started. I
7.
didn't even see that countdown. I was reading. Cheers, Dave. Okay, welcome to the Group Chat HQ podcast here with Live Duel. Today we've got a stack lineup. Our starting 11 or our starting 3 look very, very good. We're starting at the back, right back apparently, formerly centre back. Dill, how are we?
I'm all right, mate. I'm good, yeah.
That's nice to have you, man. Centre midfield, Luca, you're running the game today. Centre midfield, Pirlo-esque performance is what I'm expecting. How are we, my friend?
I'm good, mate. Of course, he copied my right foot, basically.
I heard that. Tobes, you're scoring the goals. You're scoring the
good.
goals. How are we?
I'm good. I'm in a good mood. Ecstatic. It's Tuesday.
Lovely stuff. Okay, today we're covering all things Italian scandals, betting scandals. We're going to cover the national team as well, both Italy and England, hence the guests as well. Stacked is going to be insightful, lads. Stay around. We've also got a couple of things to cover through Chelsea. We're going to look at what their season looks like this time moving forward. What does a good season look like for Chelsea? And the all-important Glazer ownership model, what's it going to look like? Jim Radcliffe apparently coming in. But as I said, we are starting with that scandal. Luca, I'm definitely going to come to you first. Fagioli, not only does he play for your football team, he's obviously an Italian footballer. 7-month ban for betting, which seems to be, judging by the Ivan Toney situation, the going rate for doing this now. I'm going to be completely honest. From my standpoint, I do not care if footballers put on the occasional acca. I get where the integrity of the game comes in. What's your thoughts on it? What's your feelings? Because allegedly there's 40 names which have been listed. We only know of 3. One of them plays for West Ham. The other one plays for Newcastle, obviously. Where is your standpoint on this? Is it annoying?
It won't be annoying if Allegri's involved in those 40 names. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because if he's involved, then it's fine. But when it comes to the players, it is annoying because Fagioli's a player I rate. He's a good midfielder, a good young midfielder. Last season, he kind of burst onto the scene. He got into his own. And it's frustrating that he's out for 7 months, but I was reading like a couple of days ago that they were saying 2 or 3 years. That's what the proposed ban was for some reason. So I'll take 7 months compared to a few years every day of the week. It's interesting you say that 40, like there are 40 players involved. Apparently Gatti is one of them. And after that fucking own goal against Sassuolo, bro, after that, I reckon he is in that as well. And if he is, I'm going to be pissed off. Okay? Because that was bullshit.
Are there any... What's the headlines around specifically Juve at the moment with it? Because I mean, there's one potential name there. I mean, 40 is a stupidly high number. As I said, as long as it doesn't disrupt competitive integrity, if it is just an acca on a first round of the FA Cup, I don't know where the stance is. It is across all football a complete no-go. You do not bet. I think like I said, the going rate is 8 months, but I think it's probably going to depend on just how severe this betting is. I mean, I've seen, was it Fagioli said that Tonali introduced him to Bet365? Like, bro, that's right there on you. What do you mean he introduced you? Have you heard any names, or what's the feeling around Juve at the moment in the media?
Well, the only names are him and Gatti that I've seen so far in terms of Juventus players involved in it. But it's a bit fucking annoying, to be honest, because when Fagioli got banned first, it always comes back to Juventus. Every scandal, why couldn't they have just done Tonali first or something? That's the most annoying part, because everyone's like, oh, it's always Juventus, Okay, maybe Juventus are somehow always involved. I think it's bullshit, but it's annoying at the same time. But I think there are other teams. There are a lot of teams. I saw Lazio. I made a video on it, and a lot of people commenting Lazio's starting 11 will be out for the whole season because there were like 10 Lazio players. There are a lot of Lazio players involved in it. There's a few Roma ones. Apparently, Zalewski, Zaniolo, they were both betting on their own games. Apparently, that's what people are saying, which is a bit crazy. Apparently, Zaniolo betting on him getting red cards and stuff. He's a dodgy cunt. That guy, like he's weird. But yeah, in terms of Italian football, it's a bit annoying because there's always controversy around Italian football with like scandals and whatnot. But I'm like you, Dan, to be fair. I think if it doesn't affect your own game, I don't think it's that bad at the end of the day, gambling. Like a lot of people put bets on for football matches. It's just if they start betting on themselves or their team doing specific things, maybe that's when it gets a bit dodgy. But I haven't heard anything about Fagioli betting on Juventus games or betting on himself, to be fair.
I don't even mind them betting on themselves in terms of like some of Tony's bets were like betting on himself to score. Like he
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, that's not. But yeah,
Yeah,
true.
like,
I'm
I-
talking
Yeah, if
about
you're
like
betting on
cards
yellow
and shit.
cards and reds, it's
Yeah,
fucked.
that's-
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
You can influence it for like in
So-
a negative way. Whereas like if you're betting on yourself to score, I feel like that's one that's kind of acceptable.
Yeah, that's fine. But Fajoli barely scores, so I don't think he would be betting on that. To be fair.
I think it is bad, like betting on. Do you not think it's bad betting on football in general? Like, because you could have
It's
mates
just
in
a
the
no-go.
game, or like, because I know betting. If
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
betting on ice hockey or boxing or whatever, that's fine. But if he's betting on football, maybe other Italian leagues or teams where other Italian players play his mates, or even gets a sniff of what a lineup's going to be and stuff like that, I think that is a bit dodgy. Like, it's obviously not as bad as betting on yourself to get sent off or 5 offsides or something daft like that. But I don't think you should be betting on football at all if you're involved in it, because you could probably, it's like when you can always, like, if you pick one historical figure, it'll always come back to someone else. Like, there'll always be a way of linking people. I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's a dangerous game. They're obviously addicted though, aren't they? Because they don't need the fucking money. Like,
Well, that's the
Tonali's
thing.
probably on
Rush-
easy
rush
150k a
gambling
week.
rather than
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah, that's what it is. So it's obviously an actual like mental health issue which needs to be addressed, I think. But yeah, no.
It's crazy though. If you think about like just how big this is for Italian football, because I remember the narrative around Tony. Oh, that's a shame. He was just getting into the England squad. He's performing well. That's one player, and that's not even in the starting 11. 40.
40 is crazy.
Are they all Italian as well? Is that a thing then?
Yeah, I think they're all Italian national.
Jesus Christ! You're not even gonna have a youth team, mate.
That's what I'm
Fuck
saying.
me.
If we qualify for the next Euros, it might be the U21s. But even then, it seems like there's a lot of U21s involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Tobes, going back to the Ivan Tony thing as well, with the length of the bans, do you think 8 months is fair for betting?
Kind of and kind of not. Like I don't have an issue with it so much, especially in terms of, like I said, some of the specifics and betting on yourself to score or whatever. But my issue more lies in that, like, you can't bet, so just don't fucking bet. Like, it's not to ask that, like, you can enjoy yourself and have all the bets you want if you want to do that with your money afterwards as a footballer. Like, you can do that, but just don't. I know people will say, there's addiction means to it, and I completely get those factors, but there are just certain things you have to avoid. It's a bit like, I like driving my car and I like going out for a drink, but I'm not going to do two together.
Yeah,
like it's just in the rules. It's just for you don't fucking go neck a load of pints and then go for a drive. It's just not what you do. You're not supposed to do it. And if you're a footballer, you're not supposed to bet. Like it's not asking the whole world to stop. You're telling them to not do something for a portion of their career. Like I don't see. I think it's pretty avoidable, to be honest. The gripe you could pose to that would be more the fact that we have so much betting advertisement and it would be so normalized to them, so that there's maybe an element of like, it's kind of rooted in your subconscious, even just watching football, how many betting adverts we're exposed to. But yeah, if I'm being paid a silly amount of money and I have to avoid doing something, I think I'd be happy to just do that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem difficult, but then, like you said, the mental health side of things, you don't really know what's going on. And
mate, if someone offered you 300k a week to not watch football and it's your biggest passion in life, you're probably taking the 300k a week.
Yeah, you probably do. It is mental, and this is 40 Italian players suspected of betting. Right, we obviously got the Ivan Toney one in the Prem. These are the lads that have got caught. Like, how many have not got caught that are doing it? Like,
we're gonna have no footballers left, man.
It's
all
insane.
get banned.
It's insane. I do think the 8 months feels harsh, but it feels like it needs to be harsh.
How do you quantify it though? It's like one of those things that it doesn't happen often. It's like, I don't know, because what you're going to compare it to, like when someone's racist. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, it sounds stupid, but I don't get how you quantify how long.
Less for racism.
Yeah, you might as you get less for being a really bad person than you do for sticking an acca on it. It is a bit mental, in it, but it's like one of those things that's so like unprecedented that it's more come out recent. It's like, how long do you ban them for? A season? Is that fair? I don't know. It's a bit big grey area, isn't it?
The harshness of the bans, I think, it's a warning signal, isn't it, to everybody?
Yeah,
it's a threat to everybody else. Do it, I dare you, because this is what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just pretend for a second that those 40 players are not actually going to get banned. Luca, the state of the Italian national team at the moment, obviously England tonight, it will be after the podcast is released, obviously, but how is the state of Italian football right now? Because when I look at it, there's a couple of young players coming through that I'm fairly excited to see where their trajectory goes. Before I start dropping any names, is there anyone that excites you about the national team at the moment? Are you looking at potentially a good future for Italian football, internationally?
I think it's hard with Italy because I don't think we're the best footballing nation in the world. I didn't think we were during the Euros either. I think we just had the form and the momentum and a lot of luck as well go our way during that kind of period where we went all them games unbeaten. In terms of for the future, I was, because we have a lot of good young players. I think our defense is very good. I think in terms of fullbacks, we're fucking sorted, mate, because we got DiMarco on one side, who's one of the best left-sided wing-backs in the world. We got Di Lorenzo on the other side, who's one of the best right-sided wing-backs in the world. And we got like Udogie as well, who recently joined the national team, who's a rotational man, who's really good. The two centre-backs, Bastoni, but again, I was going to say Bastoni Scalvini would be a very good partnership, left-footed, right-footed. But Bastoni's one of the names involved in the betting scandal as well, apparently. So we might not have him. And then Donnarumma got. It's a good defense. The midfield for me, it's very young. You got like Tonali, Barella, who was involved in the betting scandal allegedly, apparently. Fucking Fagioli, who was again involved. You got me in the midfield. You got
Jorginho's still there.
Jorginho, he's past him, mate. He doesn't get called up no more.
Do you not?
No, he don't.
He doesn't
Same
really
as
play,
Verratti.
does he? Yeah.
He's played a little bit this season, but yeah.
That's kind of why I asked the question about the excitement for the future, because the players that you name, like Udi as well, and I need to ask you, because there was a lot of hype around that Fiorentina Napoli game where I'm going to say Cavaradonna just so I don't butcher his name. Is it Michael Coyote? Have I said his name right? The fullback that got a lot of hype. Do you know much about him?
Who? Biraghi? Are you talking about Biraghi?
No, is it Coyote?
I don't know too much about him because he kind of just burst onto the scene.
Yeah, it's like 6 games, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, he's been really good this season, but before I'd never heard of him in my life.
Because that's another teenage fullback, a little bit like Urigi as well on the other side, and then Scalvini is 19. So
he's a top centre back. He's very good.
Yeah, and like you said, Tonali's young as well. There's a lot to look forward to. If
it's just the attack, mate. The attack sucks. It's just Chiesa. That's it.
Yeah, Chiesa's obviously the standout in the whole squad.
Smacking ball out.
Do you still play Moise Kean up front?
He plays on the wing, doesn't he?
He played last.
Your lineup out now, isn't it? Who is it? If you got up front,
yeah,
Scamacca out. If you got out, your front three, El Shaarawy.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
What? Scamacca and Berardi. That stinks. I like
Berardi's
Scamacca.
good. To be fair, Berardi's a good player.
Cristante in midfield. Yeah, El Shaarawy is a mad one though, isn't it?
How is he still going?
Yeah, I know. He's 30. He's only 30.
He's just been around for yonks.
Yeah.
Berardi was allegedly involved in a scandal as well, though.
Of course he was. No.
Seems like everyone.
You got Nonto.
Yeah, and Nonto doesn't really get.
As well.
He doesn't get much game time though. To be fair,
Orsolini's okay, isn't he?
Going forward, he will. He's only young, isn't he?
Yeah, I was just interested to get your take because, like I said, that age profile and like the hype. I mean, the hype doesn't necessarily mean trajectory, does it? It doesn't mean there's no guarantee around it. But the hype around the younger players in the Italian squad at the moment, I just find very interesting. I haven't seen a massive amount of a lot of them play, but I'm just hoping that the younger ones are not the ones in the scandal because you might have a fun Euros if you do get there. If you did get there, well, what's the expectation?
It depends who we got in the group, of course, but we're not going to win it. There's no chance we'll retain the title. I think quarters, to be honest. And that's not an expectation. That's just where I think we'll probably get knocked out in the quarterfinals, maybe.
Okay, still good, especially with the profiles. Like I said, Tobes, we're going to talk about England.
Yay!
I think because I know you love them. I'm saving Dill for last for a very good reason. I'll explain in a second. But when we look at Gareth Southgate's team, obviously a lot of development's been in I suppose the English game. Pep's the obvious one. Obviously Brighton do it now. Spurs are starting to do it. Arsenal are doing it with this inverted, how to get the best out of your attackers. You can play with 2 8s if you do this, Gareth. That's not going to happen, right? So it's Gareth Southgate's formula that we're walking in with. Favourites, do you agree?
I can never get behind them anymore.
I can't look at France's squad and sit there and say ours is better than theirs. If I'm honest, I just think France's squad is the best. But there's always shit going on with them, and it's regardless of how much talent they have. There's always like scandals or people are falling out and kicking off. Like that just tends to happen with France. But they'll be there or thereabouts. I think that I'd say like talent wise within the pool that they've got, they're the strongest. But it's probably about time we won something, and there's no reason why they can't. I'd say behind France, we probably have the strongest talent pool. But you've got.
Would you say the strongest 11 rather than squad, or is that a stretch?
I'd actually say the squad is what makes it a bit more impressive. They've got more depth than us for sure, and the best starting 11 to be honest. But in terms of like, we've got a lot of depth. I mean, less so like left back, but I'd say across the board we've got a lot to use. Whether that's up top, right back, centre back, whatever, midfield. I don't think we're going to struggle in that sense. It's just I don't rate this manager, and I feel like if England want to make the next step, they want to win something serious. You're not going to do it with Southgate. And I thought that even I was like 2018, I was like, that was a nice run out. There was no expectations with that one. Give it someone serious. And here we are in 2023, going into 2024. He's still here. And, fair enough, we beat the worst Germany side of all time, but it's true. That Germany side.
No, it is true. It is true.
They've been knocked out the groups in back-to-back World Cups. They got knocked out by us, and we expected to beat them. They weren't a good Germany side. And whenever to face anyone good, we haven't won.
Although I said this on a show a while back that the three biggest threats to England winning the Euros are France, Portugal, and Gareth Southgate. Dale, his selections, right?
Yeah.
There's always drama.
You can ask me about Harry Maguire, aren't you?
And Jordan Henderson.
Yeah. What should they be in the squads?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of political views behind it and the reasons why he got booed. I mean, we can talk about that if you wish, but more so, there is this big argument between. This probably happens in every nation, but obviously we only see it with England over here with form and promise versus I can trust him, right? He's been in the squad, he does a job, and he knows the system, he knows the boys, and we've been working for something all the way over here 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and we wanted them to grow together to perform now, i.e. keep them in the squad, versus James Ward-Prowse being left out as an example.
Yeah, I think with the Henderson booing, I doubt many people that go and watch England are that in tune or that bothered about kind of humanitarian issues that they're booing him because of Saudi Arabia's civil rights record. I think it's probably just because he's playing there and they think he's shit. But I think it's different with Harry Maguire. I'm obviously going to be inherently slightly biased because I do think he gets a bad rap from most brain dead United fans, and he's a much better player and defender than most people give him credit for. With Maguire, I get why he plays because I don't think you could say with certainty that anyone else would do better. If we had a truly world-class English centre-back out there to come in alongside John Stones, I'd back it.
Colwell.
Yeah, well, I really like Colwell, but again, he had a good season at Brighton. He's doing okay at Chelsea.
Oh mate, Maguire is in the toilet though. Like I'm not saying he is better than people give him credit for, but we got to call a spade a spade. Like even coming on against Scotland the other day, just kicking his own net. Like the bloke has been fucking useless for like a while.
I get that.
He might look like Nesta compared to Lindelof, but he's still not on the level of some centre back. Even Ben White, who's playing at right back, he's still a better centre back. And I don't even think they're booing these boys in terms of Henderson and Maguire. They're booing Southgate. They're booing his.
Yeah, it's like when Ten Hag brought Martial on for United. Yeah, I get it. The only thing I'll always go back to with a player like Harry Maguire is he's been consistently one of England's best performers for years. He's never let us down, and I know there's. It's hard because with certain players like Jordan Henderson, I don't think he's been a standout for England. I don't think he's been particularly great. He's playing in a much lesser league now. He's aging. There is better options there. But with Harry Maguire, I don't think he's ever let us down. He's always been one of our better performers at tournaments. Probably always our best defender, certainly best centre-back. He's been more solid than John Stones has for England in the past 4 or 5 years or so. I don't think you can argue against that. So I get why he's there. I think the frustration more comes down to just with what Southgate's like. I like Colwell. Tomori's decent, Gue's decent, but I don't think there's someone sat on the bench that you could definitely say is going to do better. And I do agree they deserve
I think
a
all
chance.
three you just named would do better.
You think Gue's would do better than Maguire?
Well, I think Guehi more than Tomori. Yeah, I think Guehi.
Oh yeah, I think Tomori's
overrated.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a doubt in my mind. I think Palace's centre back pairing of Anderson and Guehi is what
I'm a big fan of them. I love Anderson as well. Yeah.
I think he's.
Yeah, I just think it just comes down to the whole. this is years of frustration for England fans coming out in this kind of scenario, isn't it? Because every manager's done it. Every manager comes in and says they're going to get picked on merit. We're not going to focus on who they play for, or the stature in the game, or what they've done last month. But they all fucking do it anyway. I don't know. I like him when he plays for England. I think he's good when he plays for England. I think he's had some great moments for us, and I don't think he's ever really cost England in big games. So I guess it's at the minute that if it's not broken, don't fix it, don't try and fix it, kind of thing. But obviously it doesn't help. It's a weird one because Southgate plays him, and then you see now. I think it really affects him now. The kind of reputation he's got, and rival fans laughing at him and booing him and cheering when he gets brought on. I genuinely think that really does affect him. Whereas before that, and it's so bad now that when he gets brought on for United somewhere, the fans are cheering and taking the piss. It's like this whole big meme. I think it would have been best for him to move abroad and go somewhere else. But
or just to West Ham. But that's what I think.
Somewhere a bit more low key, and he's out the firing line. And I mean, we could talk about it for days. I mean, Calvin Phillips is starting today, lads, and at least Maguire's played a bit for United and been good for England for years. And Calvin Phillips is starting in midfield today when it's other option. That's him.
Because he has to. He has to go with the two holders, doesn't he? Because Southgate's not going to change that. You can scream till you're blue in the face and he's going with two holders. And then it's Phillips and Henderson, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah, well, we can talk about this till the cows come home. We've done it on this podcast semi-recently, I think. If it wins a game, I don't really care. I think I've not seen an international team in recent memory play electric football that looks really good and shit all over a team, play a 3-5-2 in possession and play this kind of progressive new modern football. It's all very much best players, big moments, try and win us a game. Even with Argentina, even with France, they're not playing amazing football. They just got quality players in quality positions.
You won't play good football in it though. With the 3-5-2,
no, I mean
it's just effective counter-attack.
Yeah, I get that. I do get that, and it is frustrating. And I don't like it as much as anyone else.
I just don't know how he's going to learn from his mistakes have cost us in the tournaments. That's what people.
But he's running it back, bro.
He got it wrong, subbing off certain players, subbing on certain players in both tournaments. Like he got those decisions.
I agree.
Those were the key moments, and he's the one that cost them. It's not so much these players. We know these players are good. He's going to choose some other ones. Fair enough, whatever. But the issue is, he's not going to make the right adjustments. Can see tactically evolved.
That's what I was going to say.
It's like he's just not good enough.
I don't think, that why we lost to Italy and other big games doesn't come, and France doesn't specifically come down like the lineup that he's put out in his system specifically. So like I said, it's the way he adjusts in games. We take a 1-goal lead, right? We'll defend and just try and work off scraps and hope we don't concede. Like that. That was the issue. It's not that you can't play decent football and let the attackers flow in a 4-2-3-1. It's been a thing in the Premier League for years, and lots of teams have won big trophies playing that. There's the way he implements it in his changes, like you said, bringing off Saka against France, scoring against Italy after 3 minutes, and then thinking, we're a much better team than these. We've got an aging back line. We're on the front foot. Why don't we just go and get another goal or two and kill it off? As opposed to, well, if we go throw a few men forward, we might concede, and I don't want to do that, so we'll just defend. That I think he's so scared of us conceding goals and making the wrong decision himself that he just plays it safe. I think that's all it comes down to. And that comes down to his squads, the way the players play, the system we use. It's one of those, man. I do want to get up for England. I do want to be confident about it. And we've been done decent recently. And there's been a lot more of a good feel-good factor around the place with the squad and the players and the fans kind of gelling for once, which I've not really seen in my lifetime before. Certainly not in the 2000s of like Ericsson and McLaren anyway. But it's hard when this keeps happening. It is hard. But it's one of those things. I know I can be that miserable as a football fan. I'm always making a conscious effort to try and be positive about it. I don't know.
You're doing well, bro.
It's a funny one, man. I'm not saying Southgate in. I'm not saying to back him. I'm just saying, like, who do we even get in, man? Potter?
They say it's $1 million question.
Yeah, you get Eddie Howe.
He wouldn't come though, would he?
Yeah, I think Eddie Howe would come. To be honest,
I think that.
And if I'm honest, within a year or two, Eddie Howe would be gone from Newcastle.
Yeah, I thought he'd be gone by now. Anyway, I thought keep them up, solid season, sack him, spend loads of money with a big manager. But I don't know. I think he'd be nuts to jump ship at Newcastle now. But I don't know.
We've seen it against Croatia. We've seen it against Italy. He prefers to not lose games rather than go win them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
like you said, international football tends to go that way, and it's not necessarily the most exciting football. Speaking of not very exciting football, Allegri's third, Luca. Allegri's third. Now I don't like him because you don't like him, and I'm fully on that bandwagon.
I think a lot of TikTok don't like him because I don't like him. But like that's.
I mean, it's not exciting. It's a shame when you got players like.
I quite like him because you don't like him, and I like the videos because you don't like him.
So talk to us. How are you third? I'm going to keep the question really simple because I'll let you direct the conversation.
How are we third? Because of individual talent. That's it, really. I think Chiesa this season has found his form again. I think if you've watched Juventus this season, you'll know he's our best player. Vlahovic is bagging goals again, which is great. Our defense is fairly solid. Our keeper, to be fair, other than Sassuolo, Szczesny, has been good this season, making individual saves, keeping us in big games. It's just, for me this season, what I think happened was, against Udinese, our first game, I don't know if any of you watched it.
Yeah, I watched it.
But we played amazing football. But I think that's the only amazing football we're going to play this season. I think he used all of it in the first 45 minutes of the first game. I'm not kidding. Because that first 45 of that first game was amazing. I was like, cool, new season, new Juventus. All right, brilliant. Then the next game, we fucking draw to Bologna in the worst way. And they're a decent team. They're all right this season. But I think the game that pissed me off the most, I think, was Atalanta. You would have watched that, Dan.
Yeah, I watched it, yeah.
We were dreadful. We had no creativity, like nothing. There was nothing going on. I don't know what was going on that game. He almost went there to play for the draw, which is like disrespectful at Juventus.
It certainly felt like that. It certainly. I felt for you a little bit. I wanted to talk to you after the game purely because that is the most boring Atalanta game I've seen this season by a mile, and it's a lot to do with how Juventus set up. There was a lot of two banks of four, and hopefully Moise Kean does something, and he nearly did at some point. There was like a drag shot, wasn't there?
But, it was because that was after the Sassuolo game. I'm pretty sure it was the game after, and he didn't. I think he maybe went there a bit cautiously. He was like, okay, we can't lose 2 in a row, and he didn't want to push for the win. Instead of thinking, we fucked up against Sassuolo, we need to win. We need to get 3 points to push into an AC Milan, and that's what screwed us. That game annoyed me more than Sassuolo, I can't lie, because the way we set up, like you said, Dan, we had no intention of attacking, therefore no intention to score goals. So how the fuck are we going to win games?
The only other chance I think Chiesa had one in the second half, but it was pretty much out of nothing on his left foot when he came inside. And then Fagioli, speaking of the Bain scandal, he's the only one which had a shot on target, which was worth saving, really. Other than that, yeah, it was flat. And then obviously Muriel hits the bar with a free kick, and
exactly. I thought that was in. And Szczesny made a really good save. Do you remember? Szczesny made a really good one-handed save on someone. I don't remember.
Lookman, I think it was when Lookman come inside.
Yeah, it was a big save he made towards the end.
Yeah, it wasn't the most interesting game. If you put it on highlights, those moments look quite good, but it was so deflating. And at that point, I thought Luca watches this every week, so I hear you.
Yeah. I have to deal with it. I have to endure it. But yeah, the figures with Juventus, we're very odd. Like, we're very up and down. Like, some days we'll be really, really good. Some days we'll be just dreadful. Like last season, I remember we beat Inter playing amazing football, and then we lose to like fucking Maccabi Haifa or something. What's that about?
I can't answer you, man. It doesn't. The pragmatism is so clear to see. It was like you can watch Juventus, and then when you're emotionally invested in the game itself, it is frustrating. I can see just because the Atalanta game, I was frustrated in how boring the game was. In all honesty, because that's kind of like my getaway from Manchester United, and that wasn't very fun.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was okay. So, I mean,
third. We are third. We got AC Milan next game this Sunday. So if we win that,
title race is on.
The race is on title charge. But that's a big if. We're away. Apparently, Chiesa and Vlahovic aren't fit to play. So that's fucked. But they don't have Maignan and Teo Hernandez. So I don't know, mate. Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be a scrappy.
If you keep Leao quiet, you'll probably be fine.
Who's going to keep Leao quiet? You tell me, Toby. Who the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know, mate. I'm just saying. So if you keep him quiet, you'll probably be all right.
You tell me, bro.
He might keep himself quiet if he wants to go goals. If he wants to go for amazing runs and just decides to backhill things, he can just easily smash in. You might be all right.
But him and Keane will probably want to hit the gritty, try to get a few insta picks, so they'll probably be playing really good that game.
Or Christian Pulisic, he's been banging in goals. He might do the business.
Oh, if we concede to Pulisic, or like fuck
off his cheek, is he injured yet? Is he still?
Yeah, he got injured.
He
got injured against Newcastle, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he got injured, so I don't know if he's fit.
He won't be.
Who have they got in goals? Giroud.
No, they have someone else. I forgot. It's not Tatasanu. It's
not Abbiati. He's not.
It's an Italian guy.
I remember that guy. Christ.
Okay, well, I mean, it's still auto, but it's such early days, isn't it? Tobes, Chelsea, We have to go there. I mean, it's hard to judge expectations because, like, Luca didn't really know what to expect going into the season, despite being happy with the player profiles that he's got at the club, exciting players there, and then how they set up isn't necessarily how Luca feels is best. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. Chelsea, a lot of exciting players, a lot of meshing to do early season. You finished just before the international break very well. I'm going to ask a question which is more broad, but go with it wherever you please. What does a good season look like for Chelsea now?
A good season is Champions League football. That's the minimum expectation at Chelsea, to be honest. I'd say anything below that, that might even sound realistic to some people. But to be honest, it still is in my head, especially with no Europe. We've had half the bloody squad out the entire time. We've only started getting our players back now. They're beginning to gel. Like, I'm enjoying Cole Palmer.
I just want to add, that's actually exactly what Peasy thought as well, you know. He thought that exactly.
Fuck's sake, man. Not even subtle, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty blatant. But yes.
He likes that one.
You know Gareth's clipping.
Let's have some more of it.
Yeah, Gareth's going to enjoy that clip.
Gareth's definitely clipping that.
No, I'd say, yeah, just basically Champions League football. But annoyingly, I kind of, before the season, I was like, oh, that'll probably be fifth this year with the coefficient. I forgot, without Chelsea in Europe, the rest of England are fucking useless. Like, every
what do you mean?
year.
We're really good.
Yeah, exactly. You've got Onana chucking it in his own net. You've got Arsenal just doing an Arsenal in Europe, using the lens. Yeah. Like, fucking hell, lads. Even last year when we was shit, we were still smashing Milan and smashing Dortmund with Potter ball. Like, just aren't built for it. And I forget that it has to be us or Liverpool.
We used to be, man. We used to be built for it.
And like, I know people start crying. They'll go, Chelsea don't do it. Chelsea have given the most to the coefficient because we won the bloody Europa and the Champions League in the last 5 years. Like, I forget that. So there might be a chance that top 5 is not a thing. It's top 4. And that makes it a bit more hard. But I only look at it as like Liverpool, Arsenal and City are guarantees. I know Spurs are doing really well at the moment.
Yeah.
They're Spurs. They're Spurs.
Yeah.
I've seen it too long. And on top of that, I think Maddison's a big part of it. I've always really liked Maddison as a player, so I've naturally watched him a lot more or less everything. The guy gets injuries. The guy gets a lot of injuries. Yeah. And when that hits, Spurs will have a bit of a rut because that creativity won't be there. You even saw it when they were playing against a bank of 9. Like, they struggled with that a bit once he'd kind of got a bit tired and they lost that creativity. So I think that will be a big factor. It's a long old season. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, that top 4 is a little bit fragile. I think, like, Spurs' depth, I don't think it's just Maddison. There's a couple of, like, if Son goes, then so do the goals, and then they've only got 2.
You say that, yeah. But could you not, like, I don't like Spurs. Could you not say that about, like, United with Rashford and Bruno, though? Or Salah and Van Dijk, or whatever.
Not to the same.
I'm not gonna lie, lads. I think for you lot, it's a matter of time before he's sacked. I think United are gonna have a.
I was gonna say it's so depressing that we came 3rd last season, and it's 8-9 games in, and we're already not being talked about in the top 4 race.
Yeah. And as for Newcastle, it's like,
I'm sick of it. Give me a bit of hope at least. If we dropped off towards the end, fine. We've got to do another season with the very, very best. If he pulls it out of his arse, is us getting in the Champions League again to go out in the last 16 other groups. That's it. Like going round in a fucking circle, and it's always the same. Anyway, sorry.
I see us just getting better because these are young players, and it's going to be up and down. And we've got a stretch of games that will be quite indicative of how they're going to cope at the moment. But this team's only even like this team, you still won't even see it at its best till minimum of like January when you've got Nkunku coming back. Like there's a lot missing from it, and you're only beginning to see the signs now where they're actually putting the ball in the back of the net. Because even I hate all those XG stats and all that kind of stuff, but it was an indicator.
Isn't it?
Yeah, we weren't like, and I could see it with my own eyes that we weren't as bad as results were showing. Like it does affect. We've been quite defensively solid. I think it's the second best defense in the league at the moment. And then we just weren't converting our chances. Like we were having the chances, you're still creating them. So the coaching's there. The pressing's got a lot better in recent weeks. In particular, that's something I've noticed because I've been starved of any tactical instruction under Harry Potter ball. It was horrendous. But yeah, you're starting to see the fruits of their labour there, and the confidence is up. And Cole Palmer's a big one. I really like watching Cole Palmer. Is
he quite injury prone for a young lad? I feel like he's.
I don't really know. I don't know enough.
I don't think so.
I thought he picked up a. I like Cole Palmer. He's a smart buy. He was, to be fair.
Yeah, he's not smart. Caicedo started to settle. Reece is back, and Reece is like a different animal of a team. But it just depends how fit he can stay. If he could stay, I'd say let's say now he's back. He had 6 weeks out for the rest of the season total. Chelsea would come 4th. I wouldn't really have to. I wouldn't really worry about it. I think I think we would be better than those other teams. I think Newcastle will really try and have a good run in Europe. They could be losing Tonali now on top of that. Like I just think the league, it will prove a bit hard for them. I know they had an 8-0, but in general, I haven't found them overly impressive in the league.
No.
Yeah, I always think like going into an international break on a good result and a good performance always leaves room for improvement as well. I think one thing that Poch does have on his side is time. This season's almost a write-off in terms of expectation. So whatever he does pull out the bag in terms of performances and in terms of achievements, whatever that achievement does look like, I think Chelsea will be fine.
Yeah, I think like minimum, like an okay season is Europa. Like an okay, like I can accept that could be the case. Quite
better performances at the end of the season. Compared to now with
my main thing is a progress where at the end of the season we're looking at it going, fucking hell, remember the start or remember last year. That's
all I want for us.
That's like us last season. By the way, I just wanted to drop this in. I had a bet with my mate Budgie that I bet him 50
quid. Might get an 8-month ban, be careful.
I've bet him 50 quid that United would be closer to whoever wins the league than Chelsea will be to us this season.
I think we'll come ahead of you. I really don't.
So do I, but I bet 50 quid on us being closer to pretty much City than you to us.
What, before the ball was kicked?
Yeah.
Were you drunk when you done that? Like?
Can you blame me though? Like we actually like I didn't expect this. Like
no, I didn't.
Pretty much.
No, I didn't.
We pretty much just said in the past 5 minutes that everything's impossible to call. We don't know what happens this season apart from United being shit. That's the only certainty.
There'll be bits where Bruno and Rashford pick up, and then you'll pick up a run of points. But like, the inevitable thing for me, I reckon Sancho and Maguire to an extent. This wouldn't surprise me. I think there was an element in Maguire's thinking of not going to, not going to West Ham and not being fan. Those players are looking at. I think like there's clearly been big fallouts anyway, but I think they're looking at it and like Sancho's not apologising. Why is Sancho not apologising? Probably out of.
He's not gonna.
He's never going
like,
to mate, you're not going to be here. You're not going to be here, and someone else will, and they might pick me.
It wouldn't be the first time that these group of players at United
we've had that.
It was like when Jose went, wasn't it?
Yeah. A lot of our players, it's like they're down tools because they think, well, I'm going to outlast you. So, but
I remember that when they were all got called the Rats.
Like Maguire might fancy his chances in getting in. Like if he thinks.
I mean, Varane's not much cop, man. We need to improve on Varane massively.
Tobes, I need to ask you some topical questions because I've seen them all online, and you got a free reign here. There is no Arsenal fan in these 4 boxes. Those combined 11s which have been going around, which I always find them pretty pointless because it is like style dependent. What do you want from your player? That's how I look at football. But when they do like for like, it's always just fun content, isn't it? Gabriel or Colwell?
At the moment, Gabriel in like it's hard to sit there and justify why Colwell would start ahead of a player that's played week in, week out for a period of time, is older, like naturally has progressed. But if you said who's going to be a better player, I think Colwell will be light years ahead of someone like Gabriel. Yeah. But Gabriel right now is a better player.
The midfield 3 of the 2 squads.
Enzo, Rice, Odegaard.
Fair. They were the 2 controversial ones that I saw online. Yeah, we can move on.
Oh, what if Caicedo or someone was in? Yeah, I don't know.
I thought Caicedo in. I think
I thought because Partey doesn't get in ahead of Caicedo for me, and if you didn't want Rice to be the 6 because you wanted him to be the 8 because he's better in the 8 than the 6, and this goes back again to balance. But the whole point in these compared 11s is just go player for player, try and get the best ones in, isn't it? Because they're not actually going to go play a game. But if he was doing it officially,
if I said who
Caicedo, Enzo, Rice.
Yeah, I mean it's like either way, it's some midfield, but like. With Caicedo, obviously he's starting to settle now, and I really like him. But I want to see more of him. I've just seen so much more of those other players. I can have a better opinion of it.
Yeah.
So with Caicedo, it's sort of like, he's 3 years younger than Rice. He could quite easily be a better player once he's 24. Yeah. But it's not there yet. It's the same like with Colwell. Our players, a lot of them are very young, so it's like I feel like people. It's the idea of what they're going to be rather than right now. Who would you have?
Yeah, that's where how do you get to this conclusion of your 11? I think most people just do look at it as in this guy's better than this guy, and they just chuck them in without really any explanation. And then it just makes me laugh sometimes. I just thought we'd get a little bit of knowledge out of the two conversations.
One thing we will settle though, because I saw some people putting Ben White at right back. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, that's
the only argument I can only
White
see that
for a whole
because
season, all added together, would not produce the quality of Reece James for 60 minutes versus Liverpool. Like that there is no, and Ben White's good. He's good in that role. He's good, but he's not even. He can't even lace his boots.
No, that's fair. It's stupid. It's Reece James over Ben White.
Yeah, I love
the
Reece
weekend
James.
twice on a Sunday.
He needs to shake off his injuries, that boy, because he's so good.
I hope it does come well for him, man. I do.
He just good for us as well once Walker's gone, because Trent's never going to be great at tournament football, is he? He'd be great for England as well if he was fit. To be honest,
yeah, he would.
Yeah, I mean Walker's probably got like 2 more tournaments.
He's maybe got one more tournament, hasn't he? But yeah.
Right, lads. I know we've all been excited about this through the pod, so we are going to skip on to football tennis. We did have a United segment, but we can do that at a later date. It's not really.
I needed to rant for my own mental well-being, Dan. You deny me.
You can rant.
You can do one with Connor.
I'm joking.
Connor and
yeah.
I wanted to get the United boys on and just have like a proper.
Because I feel like that's a therapy session for you guys.
That's what I mean. That's why I like doing them. It's like after it, I do genuinely feel a lot better. It's free
I could imagine Luca and Tobes just rolling back in their chair. Yeah, Tony. What?
Luca Tony.
Luca Tony, nice.
Just rolling back in their chairs, being not interested.
Top striker.
But yeah, it does just sound like moaning, but it does need addressing. We are though going to move on to football tennis. I've kept it fair. There is England and Italy involved in both.
Italian players involved in betting scandals in the past 6 days.
There are a possible 40 answers. Okay, so first one, football tennis. The question is going to be, I'm going to pick the order just because it saves arguments. We're going to go English and Italian managers all time. There's obviously quite a lot of answers in here. But
what do you mean? Literally English and Italian football managers.
English or Italian. So if they're manager,
do you mean England for England and for Italy, or do you just
for
mean
England and for Italy?
Oh right, I'm
really confused by what.
But do you mean they have to have managed the national team?
International managers who have taken control of the national team, Italy, or the national team, England.
Oh right, my managers turned off. So sorry.
This is all time. This list is obviously extensive, but the lower down the list you go, the less. I don't know, topical.
Right, so it's just people that manage England and Italy, not right. Cool.
Yes, yeah, they don't have to be English or Italian, by the way.
Yeah, I can't imagine
there's a couple in there, bro. There's a couple.
Oh, I can think of one. Yeah.
You can.
Time to get up, Dan.
Yeah, it's actually the end of the pod. We'll continue.
I'll be out in 10 seconds.
No, it's fine. We got 2 lots of football tennis to go through, and they're both, like I said, they're fair, and I think this one's okay. I'm gonna start Luca, Dill, and Tobes, and on the other time we'll go Tobes, Dill, Luca. I think that's as fair as I can make it. So England or Italian manager. By the way, the list is on 2 different tabs. So if I take time answering it, don't worry. Gareth is a genius. We'll get the clips in. But Luca, manager number 1, please.
Spalletti.
Correct.
Capello.
Correct.
Big Sam.
Big Sam, yes.
One game. One win, one game.
One win, one game. Yes, Big Sam counts.
It's me again, right? It just goes round in them. All right, Southgate.
Sorry?
Southgate.
Southgate's in, yes, still.
Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Sven counts, yes. Tobes.
Roy Hodgson.
Roy's in there as well. Luca. Mancini's in there as well. Still.
Alf Ramsey. One for you, and you probably remember when he took over, mate, don't you?
Yeah. I think I just came out of college at the time.
Antonio.
Yes.
Prandelli.
Sorry?
Prandelli.
Yes. Still.
Steve McLaren.
Wally with the Brolly is there, my friend. Yes, Tobes.
Bobby Robson.
Bobby Robson, of course he's there. 1982 to 1990. Dill.
It's Luca.
That's me.
Oh, Luca, sorry.
Lippi.
Lippi is definitely there, yes.
Glenn Hoddle.
Glenn Hoddle as well, yes, he's in
Warren
there.
Hoddle.
Warren Hoddle, that is to me. What the fuck, Glenn Warren?
I'm waiting for some duplicate.
Oh, sorry. Terry Venables.
Terry
Nice.
Venables. Yes, he's in there. Luca.
Trapattoni.
Yes,
I don't even know who these Donnies are. He could have been naming fucking
Oh,
pasta
come on, he's
shape
one of
for
the
all
best
I know.
Juventus managers ever.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the list here, Dill. I don't really know myself, but banana.
Kevin Keegan.
Kevin Keegan, yes.
I'm struggling now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think that might be me checking out. I don't know. Did Ravanelli have a go at managing? I don't think he did.
Ravanelli wasn't on the Italian list, no.
He'd been a fun manager though.
There's two on the England list which are a bit rogue, but yeah, Luca.
John Smith.
Johnson's not on there either. Luca.
I think he won the World Cup in '82. Berzot.
Can you spell that for me?
Bearzot. I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
I think he was the '82
I'll let him
man.
verify it. 'Cause if not, I could win one. I don't even have a name, mate.
You got one. He was the Italian manager, yes, between 75 and 86. Fuck.
Is there any obvious ones, Dan, for either?
No.
Mint.
What a win for Luca.
Right, give me a sec. Let me cook for like 10 seconds.
I just got one more guess in me. I'll be right.
Tobes, am I allowed to give him a hint?
5, 4, 3, 2.
I don't fucking know. Matt Busby, mate. I've got no idea.
Matt
Hasbuller.
Busby.
I don't know.
No, he wasn't. The two rogue ones in England was caretaker manager Stuart Pearce and Peter Taylor was caretaker.
I could have
Oh,
got
Peter,
Pearce.
I should have got Pearce.
Should have
I
got
Pearce,
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the rogue ones. But I mean, officially from the Englands, you went back to, I mean, without Alf Ramsey, I mean, the one before that, Bobby Robson, we went back to 1990s and everybody else was covered. So, I mean, you did as well as you could, I think.
Congrats, Luca.
Well done, Luca.
Luca gets a
Top
dub.
G. Who was left for Italy? How many?
I would have said
I don't
Saki.
even know the rest down here. I'll be honest. Like,
You would have said
I would
who?
have just guessed Saki as the next one. Because, as a guess, I don't know. Was he one?
no, he's not on the list.
Oh,
Saki wasn't.
Clutched up if I remembered Stuart Pearce. By the way, Italy won the little boy Scamacca.
Hey!
Just seeing it.
Get in.
The season starts tonight.
Okay.
Oh, fuck's sake.
So now we've got, this one could go on for a little while. We have got every
Oh shit, there's another one.
One more, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
one more.
brilliant. I love that.
He was ready to log off.
You thought you
I
could
was ready to take
escape.
the win.
I want
There's
this
no
one to
leaving,
fly.
Luca.
I want this one to fly. I've got every single goal scorer for Italy and England, but
Oh,
but,
you
but,
fucking joke.
No, wait, sorry, what was
Go
it?
for
but
hours.
there is a cap.
What was it?
Okay, England all-time top goal scorers for Italy and England, but there is a cap. It is they need to have scored at least 20 goals.
Right.
20 goals. Okay.
At least 20 goals. This time we're starting with Tobes, then we go Dill, then we go Luca. The order did actually affect the winner last time, so Tobes, being nice, first choice. Away you go.
Yeah, I'm still in second.
Del Piero.
Del Piero. He is on there. Yes, he has surprisingly, mate, 27 goals.
Fucking hell, that was tight. I thought he was way more than that.
Well, I'll play safe then. Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney. Yes, he's on there. 53.
Yeah.
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, of course, 59.
Sterling.
That was mine. Fuck.
That's rogue as well. Right. Oh, Tobes. Raheem Sterling, 20 goals.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, bro, that was tight.
Jesus.
Oh, he must have more than that.
Low, bro, 20.
Fuck,
82 games, 20 goals.
Jimmy Greaves.
Jimmy Greaves, of course, he's on there. Yeah, 44.
Totti.
Ooh, Totti. I need to get the number, so bear with. I will
Fucking
find him.
hell,
for you.
if
He
he's
must
not
have at
20,
I'm
least.
I'm gonna
scrolling,
smash
bro.
that
I'm
in.
scrolling.
He must have enough.
I'm scrolling.
If he doesn't have 20, I'm going to lose my mind.
I mean, I hope he doesn't. I want to win something for once in my life.
You are kid, bro. Francesco Totti for Italy. He's played 58 times. Scored 9 goals.
Not even close.
That's insane.
Oh,
man.
Your
That
own
is
country,
insane.
Luca. That is disgusting, mate.
9
Oh,
goals.
mate.
That's nuts.
That is mental.
9.
Deal.
9.
What a fraud. Is it me?
Yes.
It's me, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Toby.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Super Frank must have 20.
Soon.
He must have 20.
So he's on 29, yeah.
Yeah.
Gary Lineker.
Gary Lineker on 48.
Balotelli.
Oh shit! I've got flip screens again.
Oh, that's a big one.
That could be a good road.
No, I think Balotelli, he bagged quite a lot in Eurostars as
played a
well.
lot, yeah.
And he was like the only striker sort of really like Italian one, wasn't he?
How did Totti not have 20 though? How is that possible?
That's mad.
Yeah, that is nuts.
I suppose he was competing with like
Go
Del
on.
Piero.
Tobes.
Give it to me, Dan.
Is it 19?
Mario Balotelli has played 36 games.
Oh,
he's
shit.
fucked it.
Shit, indeed.
He scored 14.
Oh, that's a
go
He
on.
scored more than Totti.
good
though.
record. 36.
Bro, these are rogue. Internationals are difficult, man. Because
Mario.
when Lucas said Tony, I was so
I need
convinced
one
we
to
were
win.
flying to the next one, but I had to check and then.
I reckon most people would have got it wrong if you said who scored more, Balotelli or Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
At least
crazy.
it's some interesting stats.
In fact,
I-
he almost doubled his tally.
There's a couple in the Italian team like De Rossi.
Do I not need to do one to win? By the way, because Tobes went first.
Not really. James does that. I
Wait,
don't
De
really
Rossi
do that.
has 20 goals.
Was Michael Owen in
yeah,
there?
De
That was
Rossi's
my next one.
outscored Totti is mental.
De Rossi's
Wait, who
on
else?
21, yeah. Christian Vieri's on there. Filippo Inzaghi, Baggio.
Is
There's a few.
Meazza there?
He's under 20.
He's under 20 as well.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
What about Immobile, that prick?
Immobile. He's down the list, bro.
I'll Google him. Giro Immobile.
17.
17. Jeez.
Can I do a fake celebration for the win then? For the edit?
Yeah. Can you give me an England one and then celebrate?
Michael, go on.
Yeah, I was going to say try to do like, yeah, don't worry. I was going to try to say do a reaction, but you literally just said that. I'm just like, oh.
Michael Owen, Dan.
Michael Owen's on there as well, mate. Yeah,
Yay! What a win for me.
yeah,
Come on. What a quiz. What a tennis.
yeah. That works.
Laura.
There's a couple on the England side as well, like Nat Lofthouse was missed out, Bobby Charlton, Alan Shearer.
It's Nat Lofthouse, mate.
He was my uncle's best mate. David Platt's on there, Brian Robson, Peter Crouch.
Yeah,
Keegan.
don't rub it in, all
I
right?
feel like, I was going to
Gerrard.
say, I'm
It's
not.
not.
I feel
it's
like we could
not
have gone
that-
on for a lot longer.
It's not that many, to be honest, because I'm skipping a few on here as well. Because Vivian Woodward, Steve Bloomer, Tom
Vivian
Finney.
Woodward, isn't that like a brand?
Vivian Westwood.
golf
that,
player, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, there's a couple of rogue ones on there, but there's a few
How
like the
many
names
does
which you
Rashford have?
mentioned. I mean, Totti's a great shout. I don't know why he didn't score 20. He just didn't.
Rashford only has 16. Step up.
All right, Dale, sign us out as you won the last one.
Yeah, cheers, lads. Warra show. Dan Warra host. Luca and Tobes Warra. Warra. Fucking Warra.